What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Let's go. We ready. We ready. We ready. We ready. I'm going to the house. I'm going to the house. When I step on the field, I send one message. Thank you. This is what it feels like. This is what it feels like. Football is getting hit. That's it. It's gonna be football now. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? It's hot now. It's hot now. Let's go. It's hot. We ready. I'm going to the house. I'm going to the house. We're talking about the Jets like we're talking about the Saints. You know, all this, y'all we the Miami Heat of football. Yeah. The bottom line is you got to buckle up with chin straps. It's embarrassing. Yeah. Don't disrespect the game like that. There's too much crying from him. He's a man. He can be a hit just like us. He's a man. You already make the big money. He's a man. Don't cry when you step on the field, man. That's more out there. When I step on the field, I send one message. This is what it feels like. Oh, my bad. You had no work in my world. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. We ready. I'm going to the house. I'm going to the house. It's a wrap. Game over.
Nope, game is just getting started right here on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK and the all-new 92.3 FM. I'm AJ Jones. It is our Throwback Thursday, and I got to tell you, man, trying to get through this one. It's a tough one. My mentor, someone who was like a father to me, really kind of guided me along my way in my pastoral journey. Passed away yesterday, and I got to be honest, I don't want to be here today. But we're going to get through this one. Because I know he was a big fan of this show. Every now and then he would drop in and tell me to not be so tough on those Texans, not be so tough on the Rockets. And I think he might have even been an Astro fan. I know his son was. Pastor Ronnie Booker was an Astro fan. But my thoughts and sincere prayers go out to the family of Dr. Guster Booker of the Greater St. Matthew Baptist Church family. Again, he transitioned yesterday, and I know where he is. So he is not lost. But again, my heart is heavy, and I'm going to go ahead and press through this show, Throwback Thursday. You know, this one ain't about me. This is about his family. It's about his church family, about so many other people like me who've been blessed by him, So, again, Pastor Booker, bless you, sir. Life well lived. All right, so we got a lot we're going to cover today. Kris Gardner going to drop in with me from Houston Roundball Review. Kris Gardner going to jump in from Houston Roundball Review, going to talk about the Rockets. They had their 6-game win streak ended last night. A couple of nights ago, they scored their highest point total for the season. Last night, they scored their lowest point total for the season. So, that's just the way it goes. They're a young team, got a lot of growing to do and gelling to do and, young coach. So I'm still riding with this team. One loss like that doesn't change anything. They got who they got tonight. They got Memphis tonight. Memphis is one of the hotter teams in the West right now, one of the hotter teams in the NBA. So this will be a good test for them tonight. They'll visit Memphis tonight, 8 o'clock Central, and I believe that's a nationally televised game. Spurs got back in the win column by beating Minnesota last night. DeMar DeRozan, I don't know what has happened to him, but he is balling. He's quietly balling. He's not in that Paul George category where, Paul, every time he scores a bunch of points, he's got something to say against the person that defended him. He's definitely not doing the Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, James Harden. He's not even doing the Steph Curry and the Draymond Green and the Klay Thompson. Klay, please. Stop, brother. Stop, Clay. Clay, stop. Just get better. Get healthy. Get back on the court. Please, Clay. But DeMar DeRozan is just balling, and I appreciate that. I respect that. 30 points, 8 rebounds, 6 assists in the win last night. And they're off until Saturday when they come to Houston to take on the Rockets. That'll be Saturday night at 7. The Mavs also ended a 6-game losing streak last night with a 122-116 win over Atlanta. Luka, 27 points, 14 assists. And then they also had a nice night from Kristaps Porzingis, who had a double-double, points and rebounds. So good win for the Mavericks. And then my number 5 U of H Cougars got off to a slow start, never brought it back, lost to East Carolina 82-76. We'll talk about that at length with Kris Gardner when he calls in from Houston Roundball Review. If you have not started following him, please do. HoustonRoundballReview.com, HoustonRoundballReview.com, or the THEHRR.com is another way to get to him. Houston Roundball Review or the HRR.com for Kris Gardner, Houston Roundball Review. All right, let me take my first break. Segment brought to you by African Imports. I'll tell you about them after we hear from Lily and the tax doctor.
Lily, my mom and dad used to fight about money all the time. Then one day, I heard them talking about this guy, some uncle I never knew, called Uncle Sam. Well, they say this Uncle Sam guy wanted them to pay him like $1 gazillion, and they didn't have $1 gazillion. So they called this company they heard on the radio called the Tax Doctor. And the Tax Doctor worked with Uncle Sam's people. I think they're called the IRS. And they're able to work it out so my mom and dad didn't have to pay Uncle Sam very much money at all. So now mom and dad are happy, and I'm happy too. Thanks, Tax Doctor.
If you owe $10,000 or more to the IRS or state, call now and pay less. 800-603-9359. 800-603-9359. That's 800-603-9359. Here's an important COVID-19 school system update for your local area. If you're concerned about your child's education, please pay close attention to this message. The current school systems were not set up for at-home learning. If you're worried that your child may not be getting the grades they need to get ahead, may be losing self-confidence, or you're worried about them getting into a good college because of their grades, help is available to you. Call Grade Potential Tutoring. They can help with in-home or online tutoring and help your child with any subject and every grade level, even for test prep. They're experts in the home tutoring and online tutoring field and confident they can help you and your child get better grades today. Call now for your free consultation. 800-580-7680. 800-580-7680. 800-580-7680. That's 800-580-7680. I am a non-attorney spokesperson representing a team of lawyers who've helped people that have been injured or wronged. Have you been diagnosed with cancer? Are you one of the millions who have taken Zantac or other generic versions of this popular drug to help treat stomach issues? Then pay close attention to this message. The FDA said it detected low levels of a probable cancer-causing chemical known as NDMA in Zantac and other generic forms of this popular drug. They've banned sales and even removed it from the market. If you've been diagnosed with cancer and you've taken Zantac or a generic equivalent, call the legal helpline now. You could receive a free cash award and have your medical expenses covered. And there's no upfront cost to you. They only get paid if you win. So please call now. 800-251-7816. 800-251-7816. 800-251-7816. That's 800-251-7816.
The legendary KYOK 1140 AM and 92.3 FM. The legend continues.
I'm Ben Tankard, and you are listening to The Lunch Break.
All right, y'all, back here on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK and the all-new 92.3 FM. I'm AJ Jones, Throwback Thursday, Black History Month. I've got a lot that I want to talk about Black history related here on the show today. And I appreciate all my phenomenal colleagues out there that have been covering Black history, articles, people, events, you name it. I love it. Keisha Kelly is doing some phenomenal work. And anytime that I read something off of her page, Black history related, I want to make sure I give her credit for that because she does some amazing work. So I do have one that I want to share from her page and from her work. But man, I love it. I love it. I learn as much this month and other months now because I got a son that really has pushed me to dive deeper. In fact, he and I talked at length about Nat Turner and how Nat Turner somehow has been re-scripted, if you will, where folks have made Nat Turner out to be this ravenous, murdering maniac that just supposedly, went through the countryside killing all these innocent people for no reason at all. And that's not ever who Nat Turner was or should have been remembered as. And, I wore the shirt earlier this week, Nat Turner, freedom fighter. That's exactly who he was. Was an educated man, was free, but enslaved and, kind of went from there. So my son has pushed me to go deeper. He's given me names of people that I didn't even know existed. And that's interesting when your children can educate the adults on our history. I just find that phenomenal. So I applaud my son. I'm so proud of him and his journey and his maturation in life. One thing that I've always told my kids is if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. So, you don't have to choose my way. You don't have to choose my way, but just make sure you know what you're choosing and why. And again, I'm really proud of him. So we're going to cover some of the good stuff that Keisha Kelly has put out from Black College Experience. I know Kris Gardner is going to be bringing some facts to the table today about Black history. And I know if you've got some, please drop them off, 281-453-1000. That's 281-453-1000. Somebody asked me a very interesting Black history question. They said, AJ, who was the first Black athlete that became your favorite? And they qualified it. They were like, please don't think that I'm saying that, these athletes were less than or anything different than other athletes. But who was the first Black athlete that really kind of caught your attention, became your favorite? And I got to be honest, there were two of them. In baseball, it was Hank Aaron. Just seeing how my dad got so excited about Hank Aaron and what he was doing during that home run chase where he broke the unbreakable record. Babe Ruth's 714 home run record, and Hank Aaron did that. He obviously became my favorite in baseball. But in football, it was a guy that not a lot of people know or even call his name nowadays, especially coming from the organization with such extensive history. Bullet Bob Hayes from the Dallas Cowboys was the first football player that I really kind of looked at and emulated. And I will never forget my mom getting me his number, his jersey, and I started playing Little League football, and I literally put his number and jersey over my Little League football pads the night before my first game, and I slept in them. Now, mind you, we weren't the Cowboys, and I wasn't number 21, I believe it was. But I wore that jersey under my jersey and pads for as long as I could before I outgrew it. And and it was then that I started noticing names of players and noticing, like, wow, that's a great guy, and then, everybody was talking about, some of the other folks for the Cowboys, but I started noticing not just Bullet Bob Hayes, but, Billy Joe Dupree and Too Tall Jones and, Robert Newhouse and Preston Pearson, Drew Pearson. Tony Dorsett obviously was a favorite of mine. But if I had to go with first, those are the ones that stand out for me. Hank Aaron, definitely. Baseball-wise. Bullet Bob Hayes, 22. Yeah, I knew it was 20. It was 22. You're absolutely right. Because there was a kid on my team that was wearing 22, and I couldn't get it. Thank you, Keith. Basketball, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Basketball, Lou Alcindor, but Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Boxing was definitely Muhammad Ali. I got to take a break. Segment brought to you by Global Tax. You need tax help? These folks can help.
Are you looking for a tax company that will get you the maximum credits and deductions? Or a tax company that can get you a same-day loan up to $9,500? Well, Global One Tax Services on 6002 Antoine Drive is the tax company that is dedicated to getting you your maximum refund. Call us for an appointment or for our mobile services. That's right, Global One Tax is now mobile. Now, you don't have to leave your home. Call 281-377-5565. That's 281-377-5565. Get your full return. You deserve it. You've earned it. Global One Tax Services. Get ready, get set, go global.
Hi, I'm Linda J. I recently purchased 4 new tires from OMG Tires and More, located at 3124 Tidwell between 59 and Jensen. TK got me in and out in less than 30 minutes. While there, I got my car washed. Do you need rims for your car? OMG has them too. OMG Tires and More is your one-stop shop for all your tire needs. So give them a call at 832-767-3211. That's 832-767-3211. Conveniently located at 3124 Tidwell between 59 and Jensen on the north side.
Here's an important COVID-19 school system update for your local area. If you're concerned about your child's education, please pay close attention to this message. The current school systems were not set up for at-home learning. If you're worried that your child may not be getting the grades they need to get ahead, may be losing self-confidence, or you're worried about them getting into a good college because of their grades, help is available to you. Call Grade Potential Tutoring. They can help with in-home or online tutoring and help your child with any subject and every grade level, even for test prep. They're experts in the home tutoring and online tutoring field and confident they can help you and your child get better grades today. Call now for your free consultation. 800-580-7680. 800-580-7680. 800-580-7680. That's 800-580-7680.
The legendary KYOK 1140 AM. The legendary KYOK 92.3 FM. Two radio stations in one.
I'm Larry Scott, host of the Not So Christian and Me Show. Join me Saturdays for great fun, interviews, music, and the latest news surrounding our world today. We are the show that cares to hear your voice and opinion with real conversation in a no judgment zone. So join me Saturdays from 1 to 2 p.m. on the Not So Christian and Me Show, right here on the legendary KYOK Radio, 1140 AM, and the all-new 92.3 FM at KYOKradio.org. This is Brian Courtney Wilson, and you're listening to The Lunch Break.
All right, y'all, back here on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK and the all-new 92.3 FM. It is our Throwback Thursday. It's Black History Month, and I gotta just take a pause for the cause. You know, we're talking about black athletes that kind of stood out for me in my young, early maturation as a sports lover and what have you. But before I get to that, I got to give some love to the Not So Christian and Me show with Larry Scott, Denise Scott, Natasha Marie, and their whole staff. I've been in radio since '82. There's a lot of great radio shows out there, and that's one of them. There are not a lot of radio shows better than that one right there, and you can check it out every Saturday from 1 to 2. I hate that it's only an hour, but it's a great radio show. They talk about compelling topics. They have amazing guests that you might not hear of or know about on any other show, but they do a great job. Larry Scott, Denise Scott, Natasha Marie, and the rest of their team. Great show. Not so Christian to me. I joke about it all the time, but I was thinking about it driving in, man. That's a really good show, and I'm glad to have them here on the with the family on KYOK, AM 1140, 92.3, and stream live on KYOKradio.org. It's Black History Month. You can shop for your African fashions for the entire family at African Imports, my favorite store. Black History Month specials include masks for $4.99, kids dashikis for $14.99 and up, adult dashikis for $29.99. I think I'm going to go over there and get me another dashiki. I really want another African outfit, but ladies, you can get your African dresses for $39.99 and up for your upcoming Black History Month program at your school, or if you got a virtual event at your church or your organization, you want to check out African Imports in the Greenspoint Mall, right near the food court. If you mention KYOK, you're going to get 10% off your purchases. Just, hey, AJ told me to come, KYOK, 10% off your purchases from African Imports, not too far from the food court. Call my brother Opie over there at 281-875-0056. That's 281-875-0056. Tell them, again, AJ sent you. They're going to take care of you. So Keith Hennick was like, yeah, don't forget Harvey Martin. Harvey Martin was another one. Harvey Martin was another one. You know that famous line that Harvey Martin said in relationship to Terry Bradshaw, where he couldn't spell cat if you spotted him the C and the A. I mean, that was hilarious to me. But there, I mean, again, it was at that age that with Bullet Bob Hayes and I'm sorry, there's something going on out in the parking lot. I'm trying to keep my eye on and make sure it don't jump off because it's a man and a lady, and I don't like the way he's agitated. You ain't gonna get agitated on her in front of me, Doc. I'm coming out there, so calm down. All right. Looks like we good. Okay. All right. So anyway, there were other great ones. I remember for the Cincinnati Bengals, which is, at that time where I was growing up, Boobie Clark was another one. Wide receiver Isaac Curtis. Ross Browner, another good one, came out of Notre Dame. Those were the ones that stood out. Of course, with the Pittsburgh Steelers, that steel curtain with Mean Joe Green, L.C. Greenwood, Mel Blount, who went to school with my aunt. I mean, that was the craziest thing in the world. I don't know where I thought these folks went to school, but it blew my mind that my aunt went to college with Mel Blount. And, I ain't bragging and name dropping, but I got to spend intimate time at his house up in outside of Pittsburgh. And I mean, he was amazed that I was the nephew of, my aunt. It's like, oh man, your aunt was good people. Your aunt was good. She was like our little sister. So, those are names that stood out for me. I'll never forget, I ran track. So in track, while Jesse Owens was obviously, the name and the historic name and what have you, in my era, I was a hurdler. So Ronaldo Nehemiah, if you ever see my senior high school picture, my hair was cut just like Ronaldo Nehemiah's. My hair was cut just like Ronaldo Nehemiah's. I just, there you go. He was better than everybody else when it came to hurdles. And the other name was Edwin Moses. Look Edwin Moses up if you don't know that name. Look Edwin Moses up if you don't know that name. Everybody talks about, Tom Brady and how many championships he has and all that. Check out the streak that Edwin Moses went on for consecutive races that he won in the hurdles. I mean, there was like decades before Edwin Moses lost a race. So when you get into this greatest athlete discussion, got to be careful, man, because I ain't trying to make this I'm not trying to make this a black and white thing. It's Black History Month, so I'm going to beat the drum for the brothers and the sisters. But I just got to tell you, man, Edwin Moses did something in hurdles that hadn't been done, probably since. And I mean, come on. Florence Griffith Joyner does not get enough of the respect that she deserves. She was the Usain Bolt in track before Usain Bolt. Notice I didn't say Carl Lewis. Notice I didn't say Ben Johnson. Notice I didn't say any of the other greats out there. It was Florence Griffith Joyner, FloJo, who dominated the sport in ways that nobody thought would be, what could happen. And then, but she was probably on set, never proven, never got caught with anything. Marion Jones, I'm not throwing shade, I'm just saying. Ben Johnson, just saying. Lance Armstrong, just saying. Give her due. It's this whole rewriting of Black history that just, if you don't want to report it, don't report it, but don't rewrite it or don't erase it. Then as I start growing up, Willie Stargell, Pop Stargell, that was a phenomenal run with the way he, cocked his bat. We used to practice that at baseball practice, and everybody doing their bat like, Willie Pop Stargell. Dave Parker was another big name back then. Of course, Joe Morgan with the Reds. Gosh, I forgot who the amazing center fielder was before Eric Davis with the Reds had a black bat. I got to look that up from the Big Red Machine, who that was. But those were the names that I remember. Vida Blue was a pitcher. Wasn't a lot of black pitchers back then. J.R. Richard, of course, was one of the most ominous pitchers out there. Him, Vida Blue. And I don't want to hear about the off-field stuff with Vida Blue. Everybody wants to bring up people's mistakes and bad decisions and what have you. But Vida Blue was amazing. J.R. Richards was amazing. George Foster, that's it. George Foster with the Cincinnati Reds. Him and Eric Davis. They weren't big guys. They weren't like, the big bruisers, but man, they had bat speed and they had strength in their forearms that was just unbelievable. And those guys could give the ball a ride. Eric Davis was one of the fastest guys that I saw play, man. That dude gets going, and it's over. If you're fooling around with the ball, you better get your act together because Eric Davis was going to touch him up. Coming through high school, Barry Larkin at Cincinnati Moeller was another big one. Hall of Famer Barry Larkin. Let's see. Keith Hennig said, please don't leave Elston Howard of the Yankees. Legend. Keith Hennig said, my favorite old school player was Lawrence Taylor. Lawrence Taylor was an absolute freak of nature. And again, I don't care about the drug stuff. Stop it. And I know somebody's going to bring up the legal issue. Stop it. Lawrence Taylor defined the outside linebacker, edge rusher play. He redefined it. I just absolutely love it. Like, Lawrence Taylor was just amazing. Amazing. Derek Thomas for the Kansas City Chiefs, rest in power. Derek Thomas was, again, a freak of nature. You know, and of course, the Minister of Defense, that dude used to hurt people's feelings. Reggie White used to hurt people's feelings. You know, and when people tell me that J.J. Watt, one of the best defensive players ever, he's pretty good. He's pretty good. Did a lot in a short amount of time. But I really don't care about stats all the time. When you look at the eye test, how Reggie White dominated folks, how Lawrence Taylor dominated folks, how Derek Thomas dominated folks. Man, it's you know, give J.J. Watt his due, but you don't have to take away from other great black players to give J.J. Watt his due. So, I mean, it's Throwback Thursday, so I'm just kind of reminiscing on some of the great black athletes that came up during my era. Reggie Jackson, I mean, come on. Reggie Jackson, Mr. October. I will never forget seeing him hit not one, not two, but 3 home runs in a World Series game where you know, the pitchers were like, listen, you ain't gonna hit one on me. So they're going mano a mano against Reggie Jackson, and Reggie's like, all right, and he's just yanking them out the yard. Not one, not two, but 3. Loved it. Loved it. And the arguments with Reggie Jackson and Billy Martin are just epic. I mean, those two would fall in love and out of love with each other on a regular basis. The boxing era for me was big back then. Of course, Muhammad Ali, Joe Frazier, George Foreman. George Foreman was just the biggest, strongest, most powerful mountain of a man that I had ever seen. And he's a boxer. I mean, just unreal. Just unreal. And then you had your Sugar Ray Leonards, Thomas Hitman Hearns, those guys. I wasn't in the some of the older boxers before Ali. I don't remember them, but I remembered some really good boxers coming up during that era. Pernell Sweet Pea Whitaker was one of my favorites. Meldrick Taylor was one of my favorites. Love those guys. Love those guys. Lennox Lewis, Holmes, Larry Holmes. Some funny stuff. Great boxers. Good era. Good era. Good era. Arthur Ashe, of course, in tennis. We didn't have a lot of black tennis players back then, but Arthur Ashe was one of a kind. Great guy. Just great guy. Great guy. One of the first major athletes to have to deal with the AIDS pandemic as it was getting started. Arthur Ashe. Loved him. Loved him. Zena Garrison, Lori McNeil, had Lori McNeil on the show. Legends in the world of tennis while I was coming up. Sonny Liston was before my time. Sonny Liston was before my time. Let me take a break. Lily and the Tax Doctor right here on the lunch break.
Hi, my name is Lily. My mom and dad used to fight about money all the time. Then one day, I heard them talking about this guy, some uncle I never knew, called Uncle Sam. Well, they say this Uncle Sam guy wanted them to pay him like $1 gazillion, and they didn't have $1 gazillion. So they called this company they heard on the radio called the Tax Doctor. And the Tax Doctor worked with Uncle Sam's people. I think they're called the IRS. And they're able to work it out so my mom and dad didn't have to pay Uncle Sam very much money at all. So now mom and dad are happy, and I'm happy too. Thanks, Tax Doctor.
If you owe $10,000 or more to the IRS or state, call now and pay less. 800-603-9359. 800-603-9359. That's 800-603-9359.
You're listening to 1140 AM and 92.3 FM, the legendary KYOK.
Hit it.
Beautiful people, this is Major. This is why I love you. On the lunch break.
All right, y'all, back on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK and the all-new 92.3 FM. It's Black History Month. African Imports get you set for that with their specials going on right now for the month. They've got masks for as low as $4.99. They've got scarves and hats for $9.99 each. Kids dashikis $14.99 and up. Adult dashikis $29.99. And ladies, those beautiful African dresses like you've never seen before are there, $39.99 and up for your upcoming Black History Month program at your school, your organization, your job, or if it's even a virtual church event, stop by African Imports in the Greens Point Mall near the food court and tell Opie you heard it on KYOK with AJ. You'll get 10% off your purchases. Give them a call, 281-875-0056. That's 281-875-0056. All right, back here, just kind of reminiscing right now with Black history and the Black athletes that I kind of remembered along the way. Jack Thompson was the throwing Samoan, and he was the first quarterback of color that I remember for the Cincinnati Bengals. But Jeff Blake was really the first Black quarterback that I remember for the Bengals, and I think Jeff Blake went on to become the first Black quarterback for the New Orleans Saints too. Those were my two teams. Growing up in Cincinnati and spending a lot of time, almost every one of my summers in New Orleans. Jeff Blake was the Black quarterback that broke the color barrier for those two teams in my memory. Now, if there were others, I get you, but he was the one that did it for both those teams. Yeah, he was the one that did it for both those teams. So, yeah, pretty interesting. 281-453-1000, 281-453-1000 if you want to share your memories of, the first Black athletes that stood out for you. I know we had a bunch of them here in Houston with the Oilers, with the Rockets, the Astros, Joe Morgan was an Astro, J.R. Richard, Kevin Bass, I know was a long-term a brother that played there. Rockets, a bunch of them. 281-453-1000. I'd love to hear, the Black athletes that you remember coming up in your era or generation on this Throwback Thursday. 281-453-1000 or text me 832-403-5005, 832-403-5005, or email aj@kyoksports.com, aj@kyoksports.com. If you want to hit me up on the gram, it's at lunchbreak_KYOK, at lunchbreak_KYOK. On Twitter, it's lunchbreakKYOK. LunchbreakKYOK on Twitter. I remember not being able to understand why Muhammad Ali was getting stripped of his belt. I remember not understanding that. Hello, you're live on the lunch break. Who's this?
Hey, Jay, it's Keith Hennig.
Caller of the year 2020. What's going on, my brother?
Well, since you're reminiscing, I'm reminiscing too. The best running back that I have ever seen play NFL football was a fellow named Jim Brown. And I was just a kid and thought he was the most amazing creature that played ball.
Yeah.
6'8" guys could not bring that guy down.
Yeah.
And there hasn't been anybody like him since.
Yeah. I never got to see Jim Brown play, but man, my dad would tell me, you know, when all these young, different kind of backs were out there. My dad did not like who was the back for the Pittsburgh Steelers, out of Penn State, Franco Harris. My dad did not like Franco Harris. He did not, because he would always say, "Oh, Jim Brown would have ran over him. Oh, Jim Brown would have got an extra 5 yards. Oh, Jim Brown wouldn't have run out of bounds."
Your dad was right. Your dad was right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Most amazing running back I have seen to this day.
Yeah. Yeah.
This young breed, this new breed, cannot carry his gym bag.
And I tell you, I vaguely remember Gale Sayers. I don't remember watching him play. Obviously, I watched some of the clips in the movie, of course. But Walter Payton was the first kind of, you know, shake and bake back that I had really seen. And he was just amazing. I can remember sitting with my mouth open, like, he did what?
Oh, yeah. Sweetness was one of a kind. There'll never be another one.
Yeah.
Ever. Yeah, you could talk about your Derrick Henrys and all these other people, but Sweetness was really a tremendous little scat back and just did phenomenal things.
Give me your. So you got Jim Brown, you got Walter Payton. Where do you go next? Give me two more of your Mount Rushmore running backs.
Oh boy, Mount Rushmore running backs. Let's forget the criminal element and talk about O.J. Simpson.
Yeah, you know what? And I appreciate you saying that, because that's what I'm saying. I don't care nothing about the off-court, off-field stuff. You know, O.J. Simpson was a freak of nature as well. My aunt took me to the Buffalo Bills Cincinnati Bengals game, and O.J. had 3 runs over 60 yards in that game, and it was just mind-boggling.
Oh, yeah. Oh, he could do that in his sleep. There is another running back that goes way back, I think before you were born. His name was Lenny Moore of the Baltimore Colts.
Wow.
And certainly do YouTube that guy.
Lenny Moore, I'm going to do that. You
he was amazing. Yeah. He was amazing, played with Unitas and that group.
Yeah.
I'm dating myself.
That's okay. I like it. That Throwback Thursday. You're not outdated on Throwback Thursday, brother.
Right. Right. You know, I'm pretty happy with Leonard Fournette and Ronald Jones this weekend, but they couldn't touch those guys. They were just amazing.
Let me say this real quick. And I'm not knocking Tom Brady. I love Tom Brady. In fact, somebody did a post. What player did you used to hate but you love now? And Tom Brady's that guy for me. I started liking him before he left New England, and I appreciate him much more now. But man, when I think about Leonard Fournette, when I think about Ndamukong Suh, you know, I'm like, man, there are so many Antonio Brown. There are so many other stories out there where a win in this Super Bowl could mean everything to those guys. I mean, everything to those guys. And I'm borderline rooting for them. If Tampa Bay wins the Super Bowl, I won't be mad.
Well, I'm not a Tom Brady guy, nor a Gronk guy. I don't like either one of those people. But if they want to bring a Lombardi trophy to one Buccaneer place, they could come to my cookout.
I love it, Keith.
They can. You know, 3/4 of the country is saying the Chiefs are going to win. Watch my Bucks.
Yeah.
Watch them close.
You might be right, man. You might be right.
I hope so.
I appreciate you, man.
Yeah, same here, AJ. Thank you.
All right, brother. Have a great rest of your day.
You take care.
You too. Keith Hennig, Caller of the Year 2020. Appreciate that, man. Dude, very good dude. Very good dude. Hello, you're live on the lunch break. Who's this?
Hello, hey Jamie, this is Leon Smith. First time calling. Enjoy your show. Love your show.
Oh man, thank you so much.
You're welcome. I want to throw a name out called Ronnie Lott for the 49ers, the cornerback.
Listen. Anybody that cuts their finger off and goes back in and finishes a game,
Correct.
I don't think it gets any tougher than that.
That's a name that I don't hardly ever hear, so I just didn't want to overlook that name that you throw back. And he's always been one of my favorites.
All right, so let me ask you this now. When you think Ronnie Lott, and then you go Lester Hayes, you go Atkins, you go some of those hitmen from back in the day. Ronnie Lott still on top for you?
He's still on top for me.
I agree. That's a good name, man. You're right. He doesn't get the kind of recognition he deserves either. Same thing I said about Florence Griffith Joyner. Ronnie Lott is a guy that came through that dynasty with Joe Montana and Jerry Rice and those guys, and Ronnie doesn't get the respect he deserves. I agree with you.
Yeah, I appreciate you. I love your show. Thank you.
Hey, man, thank you so much. First time caller. Appreciate you.
You're welcome.
All right, y'all. That's good stuff. He's right. Ronnie Lott should be mentioned a whole lot more than he is. I agree with him. Ronnie Lott, man, he will let you know he's out there on the field. Come across that middle if you want to. And he wasn't a headhunter like Lynch and Billy Bates and those guys where he led with the crown of his head. You know, they're guys that made their living off of that. Ronnie Lott was just a hard hitter. Ronnie Lott would sacrifice himself to make sure you didn't get a first down. Ronnie Lott would sacrifice himself to make sure you didn't score the winning touchdown. And some kind of way, he would just pull it all together. He would rearrange his marbles in his head and get right back out there. Ronnie Lott didn't miss a lot of games because of injury. And he was one of the most physical players I ever watched play. Very good call. Very good call. Brother, call me again, man. That's good stuff. It's Throwback Thursday. So if you've got a athlete, black athlete preferably, it's Black History Month and Throwback Thursday, hit me up, 281-453-1000, 281-453-1000, or text me 832-403-5005, 832-403-5005. Just shouting out to Larry Scott of the Not So Christian in Me show. And my message is, love you, brother, and I mean it. You know, as my heart is heavy for Pastor Gusta Booker from the Greater St. Matthew Baptist Church family, it reiterates that, man, we just got to tell people who we love that we love them while they're alive. And brothers, I mean it when I say let's not be afraid to show each other love in word and in deed. We're no less men because we say, yo, man, I love you. And it ain't because of what you've done for me. It's just because it's true. So lot of love for Larry Scott, a lot of love for Chris Gardner, a lot of love for David Grubb. Good brothers. Garrett Jones, I love you, man. I love you. Keith Hennig, love you, man. Ferdinand, love you, man. I'm telling you, you guys, y'all just don't know, man. I look forward to coming in here and getting this in right here. And I mean that sincerely. So if you got other athletes you want to bring up, this segment is going to go all throughout the show. So if you got folks you want to bring up, let me know. 281-453-1000, 281-453-1000. Let me get Sybil Wilkes in here with her COVID-19 update right here on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK.
It's Sybil Wilkes with what you need to know today. The federal government will send 1 million vaccine doses to about 6,500 retail pharmacies on February 11th. Announced by the White House's COVID-19 response coordinator, it's the beginning of a federal program that will deliver vaccines directly to as many as 40,000 drugstores and grocery stores. Capitol Hill police officer Brian Sicknick will be laid to rest at Arlington National Cemetery with full honors. The president and vice president were among those who paid their respects to the 42-year-old officer who died after defending the Capitol January 6. Officer Sicknick was one of 5 people who died as a result of the riots. Donald Trump's legal team filed their first papers yesterday, 1 week before his second impeachment trial, spelling errors and all. Democratic House impeachment managers laid out their case for convicting Donald Trump in the Senate and barring him from ever holding federal office again. Please visit SybilWilkes.com to subscribe to my free daily newsletter. Be informed, be empowered.
Hi, this is Sonia from Southeast Houston, and you're listening to The Lunch Break on 92.3 and KYOK.
All right, y'all, back here on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK and the all-new 92.3 FM. I'm AJ Jones. It's our Throwback Thursday. It's Black History Month. Got another call coming in. Let me get this one in. Got to get them in. Hello, you're live on the lunch break. Who's this?
This is Reverend Barnett, Cowboy Craig.
What's up, Cowboy Craig? How you doing, man?
I'm good, man. How you doing, brother?
Man, it's a tough day, but I'm getting through it. I'm enjoying the conversation. How about yourself?
Yeah. Gus the Vocal, man. I tell you, man, that was my brother's pastor.
Oh, really?
My brother Troy. Yeah, Troy born at the barbecue, man.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Boy.
Get out of here. I know exactly who your brother is.
That's my brother, man.
Small world, man. Small world.
Yeah, small world. That was my brother, man. Gus was his pastor, man. Yeah, he loved him some Gus the Vocal, man.
Yeah, it ain't hard to do when you're a good man like Pastor Booker. You know, one
That's
church
right.
and 2 locations, man. I tell you,
One church, 2 locations,
Yep.
and man, and I'm just so proud of his son. You know, the way he just stepped in, and you know, he was reluctant at first, but then, man, you know, he sit down and God spoke to him, and he accepted the challenge, and he's just keeping it moving.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, again, great family, great people, man. I appreciate you sharing that. That's good news.
Yeah, and my favorite player coming up in football was Tony Dorsett.
Yeah, yep.
Yeah. He was a little guy, but he had the big heart, and he had that speed and that shiftiness, and he was just smooth. You know, he kind of reminded me of Dale Sayers and Jim Brown kind of combined.
Yep.
Dorsett was, you know, who was that? One of the Steelers linebackers say, I swore that he split in half, you know, because I had it. And I looked up, and he was in the end zone.
Let me tell you something, man. I watched Tony Dorsett at Pittsburgh when he won the Heisman. Phenomenal. And then when he came to the Cowboys, I was kind of mixed emotions because I was a Preston Pearson fan, and he really took over for Preston Pearson.
Yeah.
And man,
I remember that.
I quickly got over myself because he was phenomenal to watch as a Dallas Cowboy.
He just looked like he was gliding.
Yeah.
When he run, as though he was like gliding on air.
Yeah. He was the first player that I ever saw run a 99-yard touchdown. Very first player ever to run a 99-yard touchdown for me.
Yeah, me too. I remember that game. I mean, and he just, it looked like he was running in slow motion. I mean, he was just that graceful.
Right.
You know. And you look up, he in the end zone, and it's like, wow.
Yep.
I remember high school, I wanted to get 33. As close as I got was 31.
At least you were in the neighborhood, man.
Yeah, I was in the neighborhood. I wanted 33. Coach told me, you get that number and go sit your butt down. They was swinging the board back then.
Yeah. Cowboy Craig, thanks for this call, man. I appreciate you, brother.
Yes, sir, man. God bless you, man. I'm praying for you and the family. And, man, you know, Guster was one, but we can live off of the memories and those sermons that Guster used to preach.
Absolutely, brother. I appreciate you, man.
Be blessed, Pastor.
You too. All right. We're KYOK, Galveston, Conroe, Houston, AM 1140, 92.3 FM, and streaming live on KYOKradio.org. We'll be right back right after this.
The views and opinions expressed on all radio shows broadcast on KYOK are entirely those of the hosts, guests, and callers who are entirely responsible for all show content and do not in any way reflect the opinions of KYOK Radio, its sponsors, staff, or management.
What's up, brother?
How you doing, man?
When you walk out on that field today, ask yourself this question.
Sound all right?
Okay, gotcha now.
What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Game time. What time
Do
is
another
it?
mic check for me.
1, 2, 3. Test.
Good. Loud and clear.
Okay.
When I step on the field, I send one message. This is what it feels like. This is what it feels like. Football is getting hit. That's it. It's gonna be football now. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? It's hot now. It's hot now. Let's go. It's hot. We ready. Let's go to the house. Let's go to the house. We're talking about the Jets like we're talking about the Saints. You know, all this, how like we the Miami Heat of football. Yeah. The bottom line is you got to buckle up the chin straps. It's embarrassing. Yeah. Don't disrespect the game like that. There's too much crying from him. He's a man. They can be a hit just like us. He's a man. You already make the big money. He's a man. I'm proud when you step on the field, man. That's who I did. When I step on the field, I send one message. And this is what it feels like. Oh, my bad. Your bad don't work in my world. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. We ready. Let's go to the house. Let's go to the house. It's a wrap. Game over.
All right, y'all. We're back here on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK and the all-new 92.3 FM. I'm AJ Jones. It is our Black History Month, and it's Throwback Thursday. And here joining us on Black History Month, it is none other, on Throwback Thursday and Black History Month, is none other than Kris Gardner from Houston Roundball Review. Kris, we got somebody that just dialed in. Let's get them in and see what they talk about, all right? Hello, you're live on the lunch break. Who's this?
Hey, good afternoon, gentlemen. I'll be quick, man. I want to call you and say condolences, not only to you, but your church family and Gus, but his family as well.
Yeah, I know you know him well. I know you've been over there multiple times, and I know you've got your own memories of Pastor Gus the Booker and the Greater St. Matthew Baptist Church family.
Gus the Booker, to me, was a gentleman that had very few words. He just said something, he meant something. So he just was a man with a vision, and we could see it. Yep. And it really, it's been a blessing. And I thank him more so for the vision that he allowed Letitia Jackson to be a part of, and that's senior citizen Saturday.
Yep. He wouldn't want it any other way. He wanted that happening right there at Greater St. Matthew's Southwest location, and it just grew and grew and grew until it was standing room only. And that couldn't have happened without Pastor Gus the Booker.
Yeah, now I'm going to be very quick because I don't want to hold you guys up. I don't want to leave without telling you, you name all my favorites, but one of them I didn't hear it. If you said it, Barry Sanders.
Yeah. Kris, we were talking about growing up, great black athletes that kind of stood out to us. And man, I went down a whole list, bro. So he just threw out Barry Sanders, and you're right. He is the first man that I literally saw his ankle like have rubber in it. Like his ankle was this way, but his body was parallel to the ground, and Barry was going in a whole nother direction.
That Barry, he was something else. I'll say this, I'll give you this name and I'm gone. A lot of people didn't like Ralph Sampson. I was a kid, so Ralph was just one of my favorites. There were so many, but it was just something about Ralph, man. He didn't play when you came with him with that foolishness. He would put them hands on him.
Man, you know what? And you're right. A lot of folks didn't like Ralph Sampson for whatever. I loved Ralph. Look, I cried when Chaminade beat them like they beat me. I was like, how did what's a Chaminade? I loved Ralph Sampson, man. Thank you for bringing that name up, because that's another one that don't get the kind of respect that he deserves.
Absolutely. And you got your gentlemen, y'all have a good one. I'll hang up and listen.
Thanks, Ferdinand. Appreciate you. Good call. Caller of the year. First caller on the show, Kris. Look, 3 years ago, 2017, going on 4 years now.
4 years now, yeah.
Yeah. Ferdinand was the very first caller. And it was a couple of months after the show. For months, I had no callers. I'm begging, please call. And one day Ferdinand called, and he's been calling ever since, man. I thank God for that.
That's fantastic, man. That's loyalty right there.
It is. It's nothing but love, man. It is nothing but love.
But let me toss in about Ralph Stick Sampson. He was never the same after that fall in Boston, man.
Yeah.
Never the same after that.
Yeah.
He was on the court, seemed like an hour. It was a scary fall. He fell in the back of his head.
Yeah.
And he was down for a long time. And he was never the same after that. But he was a heck of a talent.
Yeah.
Do you remember the Virginia Georgetown game that was on prime time Saturday evening? Patrick Ewing and Ralph Sampson. That was prime time viewing right there, man. So
Yeah, it was.
Showing my age right there, brother.
No, that's good stuff. Because like I said, on today, Throwback Thursday, man, I wanted to just reminisce about some of the great black athletes that we, experienced ourselves growing up. And I remember, for me, basketball-wise, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Lou Alcindor, but Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, man, was just unbelievable. And then I drifted over to Dr. J and some of the other ones. But, my mom went to school with Oscar Robinson, and she's like, check him out. I went to college with him. And I mean, it was just amazing to me, man. Those guys were amazing to me.
And you remember the Twin Towers with Ralph and Dream, and the two of them teaming up to defend Kareem with the unstoppable sky hook.
Man, and that's why I have said this. Kris Gardner joining us from Houston Roundball Review. How come more big men not take the time to learn the sky hook? That thing was it was indefensible, and it was definitely unstoppable if you could get it.
I have no idea, because it's a graceful shot too. Yep. It looked good.
Yep.
When it left Cap's hands, and he developed it almost a 3-point range. I mean,
and that was the thing.
He mastered it.
They literally would go to him for the game winner with that doggone sky hook. I mean, that's how well he had mastered it. Y'all get the ball to Kareem, and Kareem win it for us. And that thing was a thing of beauty.
And you remember the story when Magic's rookie year, I think Magic's first game, went to Cap for the go-ahead game-winning shot. Cap made the sky hook. Magic's jumping into his arms, hooping and hollering. This is game one now. Kareem's like, young buck. This is just a first game of the year, man.
81 more to go, brother. 81 more to go.
It was almost like Kareem said, calm down, young fella, but I do this. This is what I do.
This is what I do. Man, again, growing up, basketball names. I think the 76ers were pretty good back then. Washington was pretty good back then. Obviously, there were Lakers and Boston were good back then. And it blows my mind when I look at, Bill Russell gets a lot of love. He don't get a lot of love for all that he's done, man. I mean, he's
off the court.
Man, the rings and that. The first black head coach to win an NBA championship, and activist and humanitarian, and just will give you the shirt off his back. But he will also tell you where you need to go when you say something crazy to him. He'll show you your number one real fast and in a hurry when you say something crazy to him. Why doesn't Russell's legacy get properly recognized like it should, in your opinion?
That's a great question, because he has 11 rings, AJ.
11.
So I have much respect for Michael Jordan. Much respect for him. Mike has how many rings?
6.
Bill Russell has 11. 11.
Isn't it 11 out of 12?
11 out of 13, I think.
11 out of 13. So he's 11-2. in NBA championship series. Jordan's 6-0. I get you the undefeated. If we're going to go with the undefeated, then we need to stop talking about Tom Brady as the greatest quarterback to ever play and get that up to Joe Montana, because he ain't never lost one. But Bill Russell.
Terry Bradshaw too, right?
Yeah, but we won't say that name.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
That's the Black History Month. We won't say that name. Yeah.
Okay.
But, I mean, I'm with you, man. It's like Bill Russell. If Tom Brady wins this one, he'll have just as many rings as Robert Ory.
Say that again. That is my man right there. My answer to the folks who talk about rings.
If Tom Brady wins this one, he'll have just as many as Robert Ory. So greatness has room. We got to put Robert Ory on Mount Rushmore if we're going to put Tom Brady up there.
See, that's the thing. If folks just base all on rings, my go-to response is Robert Ory has 7 rings. Jordan has 6. Are you going to tell me Robert Ory is better player than Jordan? Heck no. Heck no. But if you base it on rings, Robert Ory has 7. But if you truly base it on rings, Bill Russell has 11. End of discussion. Period. 11. But folks don't think like that for whatever reason. Great man, great player, won in college, Olympian, won at San Francisco with Casey Jones. He won the ultimate winner. He won everywhere. College, Olympics, NBA, coaching.
Life.
One of the best defensive players ever. One of the best rebounders ever.
Would guard a 7'2", 7'1", 7'2" monster of a man and come away with 25, 30 rebounds.
Wilt won the individual matchups, but Boston won the team matchups. And it's a team sport. So don't you want to win the team championship? So, but Dipper was a whole nother level of individual talent and 2 great men and 2 great friends too, that a lot of folks didn't realize until after their careers. Yeah. But 2 pioneers that as time goes by, you forget how great they are. And one cool thing when James Harden was here with the Rockets and you seeing all the tremendous numbers he put up, comparing him, but you'd see who was number one, who he was chasing was Wilt. And you still saw how far James had to go sometimes to catch some of Wilt's numbers. I mean, it's just ridiculous. Yes. But it's great to talk about. Bill Russell is still living, and brother, like every day goes by, one of our heroes is passing on. Yeah. So you just cherish them and give them their flowers now while they can acknowledge them while they're here with us. So Bill Russell is Black history.
Yes, sir. And I tell people all the time, Black history is from January 1 through December 31st, and it's being made every day.
Yes, sir. You and I are part of Black history right now.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. Let me ask you a Rockets-related question, and I got to take a break. Is Stephen Silas only the second Black head coach for the Houston Rockets?
Don Chaney first. Yeah, I think so. Who else is there? You got anybody else in mind?
Nope.
Well, there we go. Didn't take long for that.
We'll be right back right after this. Kris Gardner, Houston Roundball Review. It's Black History Month. It's Throwback Thursday. If you want to get in with us, 281-453-1000, 281-453-1000. Lily and the Tax Doctor bringing us this segment.
Hi, my name is Lily. My mom and dad used to fight about money all the time.
That one hit me all the way in.
One day, I heard them talking about this guy, some uncle I never knew, called Uncle Sam. Well, they say this Uncle Sam guy wanted them to pay him like $1 gazillion, and they didn't have $1 gazillion. So they called this company they heard on the radio called the Tax Doctor. And the Tax Doctor worked with Uncle Sam's people. I think they're called the IRS. And they're able to work it out so my mom and dad didn't have to pay Uncle Sam very much money at all. So now mom and dad are happy, and I'm happy too. Thanks, Tax Doctor.
If you owe $10,000 or
Who's
more
that?
to the IRS or state, call now.
Okay, cool.
800-603-9359. 800-603-9359. That's 800-603-9359. Here's an important COVID-19 school system update for your local area. If you're concerned about your child's education, please pay close attention to this message. The current school systems were not set up for at-home learning. If you're worried that your child may not be getting the grades they need to get ahead, maybe losing self-confidence, or you're worried about them getting into a good college because of their grades, help is available to you. Call Grade Potential Tutoring. They can help with in-home or online tutoring.
I'm wearing my
and
Grambling
help your
shirt because my
child
daughter
with
wants
any
to go to
subject
Grambling.
and every
That's
grade
cool.
level, even for test
Cool,
prep.
cool.
Experts in the home tutoring and online tutoring field.
Not TSU,
They can help you and your child get
PV.
grades
Grambling
today.
or Southern.
Call now for your
Okay.
free consultation. 800-580-7680.
I'm ready to do school visits and everything.
800-580-7680. 800
Virtually or in person?
7680. 800-580-7680.
KYOK, 1140 AM and 92.3 FM.
All right, y'all, we're back here on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK. And we got the man who never backs down. He ain't got nothing to apologize about. He writes, he reports, he alley-oops. Does it his own way.
I've never tried to make people mad.
Not often.
I've never tried to make people look bad.
Every now and then,
Sometimes things happen.
but life goes on.
Life goes on. I dunk on everybody. I dunk on everybody.
Chris Gardner, Houston Roundball Review, dunking on everybody in the basketball world, and he is joining us again here on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK and the all-new 92.3 FM. Glad to have you back, Chris, especially during Black History Month, man. How you be?
I'm doing well, brother. I did some yard work this morning. Well, morning / right before I joined you. So the older I get, the more I'm enjoying that. I'm not sure why that is, but you know, get rid of some weeds, stuff like that. You know how it is.
Let me tell you something. Whatever is your self-care method nowadays, whether it be your yard, whether it be your weeds, whatever it is, we got to do that these days, man, because there's a lot going on, bro. A lot going on.
Because, yeah, I was, working in the yard, had my earbuds in, listened to some Miles Davis and some Jimi Hendrix.
Yeah.
So, mix it up a little bit. Black History Month, brother. So, I celebrate them every day. I listen to Miles. I try to listen to something by him every day.
I worked in radio with one of Miles Davis's brother, JoJo Davis. And, some of the pictures that he showed me of Miles and the family and what have you, man, it was just like I had no idea then that I was watching history, that I was seeing something that most people had not seen. And, man, Miles Davis was a legend, just legendary. I mean, I don't even know how to further describe it.
I mean, I didn't realize that he's had like 100, album, CDs, whatever, 100.
Yeah.
I mean, that I'm a big Miles fan. I didn't even know that, and he goes back to just the birth of the cool, stuff I really love back when, Louis Armstrong and working with Bird and Coltrane, and then up to the fusion music, which I'm still trying to get into. I mean, his library is just massive. It takes so much time to listen and enjoy it, and some of it goes over my head. I'm not gonna lie to you. Some of his stuff in the 70s, I'm like, ooh.
Yeah,
I need to listen to that again.
Yeah,
a couple of times and see where it's coming from with that one. Okay, Miles, I got you now. Okay, I got you. It's different. Yeah. But yeah. Much love to him.
When I think Miles Davis, I also think Cicely Tyson.
Yeah.
Knowing that she just recently passed, it's so easy to reconnect with Miles Davis. And again, back to what JoJo showed me. In fact, there was a picture in there with Miles and JoJo, and I think it was a cousin, and they all got that Miles Davis look with the glasses, the hat, and a horn in their hands. And it was like, man, if there wasn't a difference in color, you would like, man, so which one is Miles? But
wow.
It's amazing, man. It is amazing. I appreciate you bringing those up, man. I definitely appreciate it. Going from Miles Davis to Jimi Hendrix, man, that's a heck of a transition.
I like what I like, brother. I mean, and Jimi Hendrix, when I was a teenager, it was his rock and roll stuff.
Yeah.
When I got to college, I learned about him and his blues stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Jimi Hendrix was a bad man with some blues, man. I mean, listening to Red House this morning, I was like, yeah, this is good stuff, man. I love music, man. I really do. I love music.
Speaking of blues, B.B. King, I'll never forget doing an interview with him at WYLD in New Orleans. And B.B. King said the one thing people don't know is that I can't sing and play at the same time.
Really?
And he said, if you ever watch, he said, I have gotten into a place where when I sing I then get back to playing, it's so seamless that most people don't recognize it. And it was that day back that I started looking at every time. It's like, he is not playing right now. And now he's playing and he's not singing. And it's just amazing.
I never noticed that, but I mean, you think about it. Yeah, that's right.
Man, because he's so animate when he sings. Yeah. He'll bring that head back and, he'll do his thing. And then he'll get back into that groove. And then he'll lay that head back and sing, get back into that groove.
Him and Lucille, I guess so. I never thought about it that way, but that is exactly right. He never did at the same time. How about that?
At the same time, man. I'm telling you, it's Black History Month, man. We got a lot that we have to be grateful for with the legends that came before us. And then, like I said, we're witnessing Black history right now. Another reason why I'm rooting for Stephen Silas, man. Only the second Black head coach of the Houston Rockets, Don Chaney, back in '88, won Coach of the Year in '91, and then got fired after that. And then, of course, the Rudy Tomjanovich era came on, and we know what happened there with a couple of chips. So would be phenomenal if Stephen Silas could get this team back to where they were in those days with Clutch City. What did we see last night? How did it fall apart last night? Going from the highest point output a couple of nights ago to the lowest output last night.
Stephen Silas is a smart man. Monday, leading up to it really, because they played OKC consecutive games, and he said to media repeatedly, it is very tough to beat a team 2 times in a row.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, sure, coach. Whatever, coach. Rockets Monday won by 30, 28 threes, 48 points in the first quarter. After the game, Coach Silas said, I'm going to focus on Wednesday's game. We know they're going to play differently. They're going to play harder. We know human nature is going to set in on our guys. We got to account for that and be ready for it. Human nature set in last night on the Rockets. They did not play as hard or aggressive from the jump. Human nature for OKC in terms of pride. They got mashed Monday.
Yeah.
They don't want to get mashed 2 games in a row.
Yeah.
They came out more aggressive. So when you think about it, when you break it down in a simple form, he's right. They're coaches for a reason. They're successful for a reason.
Yeah.
Human nature takes a toll. And now tonight, we'll see if the Rockets' pride will rear its head and come back and say, we're not going to stink again, 2 nights in a row, 2 games in a row. So we'll see if their pride steps up against the Grizzlies this evening. So that human element, you can't forget about it. But brother, did you notice the Rockets were rolling 6 in a row? U of H men were rolling 8 in a row. Mayor Turner was talking about, well, look at these H-Town teams rolling right along. Then bam, same night.
Yeah, I'm coming back to that U of H thing because that's last night, man. Let me take a quick break. Segment brought to you by OMG Tires and Global Tax. We'll be right back with Kris Gardner as we try and find out what happened in Houston last night on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK and the all-new 92.3 FM.
Hi, I'm Linda J. I recently purchased 4 new tires from OMG Tires and
Don't blame that on my mayor now. Don't blame that on my mayor.
Oh, no.
TK got me in.
It's just everybody was getting into it.
Right.
Right. Well, I'll talk about it when we get back on the air.
Yeah. Look, as Bill Walton would say, save it for the air, big man. Save it for the air.
For all your tire needs. So give them a call at 832-767-3211. That's 832-767-3211. Conveniently located at 3124 Tidwell between 59 and Jensen on the north side.
Here's an important COVID-19 school system update for your local area. If you're concerned about your child's education, please pay close attention to this message. The current school systems were not set up for at-home learning. If you're worried that your child may not be getting the grades they need to get ahead, maybe losing self-confidence, or you're worried about them getting into a good college because of their grades, help is available to you. Call Grade Potential Tutoring. They can help with in-home or online tutoring and help your child with any subject and every grade level, even for test prep. They're experts in the home tutoring and online tutoring field and confident they can help you and your child get better grades today. Call now for your free consultation. 800-580-7680. 800-580-7680. 800-580-7680. That's 800-580-7680.
The legendary KYOK 1140 AM. The legendary KYOK 92.3 FM. Two radio stations in one.
I'm Larry Scott, host of the Not So
All right,
Christian
one more
Me
after
Show.
this.
Join me Saturdays for great fun, interviews, music, and the latest news surrounding our world today. We are the show that cares to hear your voice and opinion with real conversation in a no judgment zone. So join me Saturdays from 1 to 2 p.m. on the Not So Christian Me Show, right here on the legendary KYOK Radio, 1140 AM, and the all-new 92.3 FM and KYOKradio.org.
Baby, I got your money.
Are you looking for a tax company that will get you the maximum credits and deductions, or a tax company that can get you a same-day loan up to $9,500? Well, Global One Tax Services on 6002 Antoine Drive is the tax company that is dedicated to you your maximum refund. Call us for an appointment or for our mobile services. That's right, Global One Tax is now mobile. Now, you don't have to leave your home. Call 281-377-5565. That's 281-377-5565. Get your full return. You deserve it. You've earned it. Global One Tax Services. Get ready. Get set. Go global.
Hi, this is TJ from South Park. I'm listening to The Lunch Break with AJ Jones on 1140 AM and 92.3 FM.
All right, y'all, back here on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK and the all-new 92.3 FM. It is our, Throwback Thursday in Black History Month right here on the legendary KYOK. And I got Kris Gardner, Houston Roundball Review, joining me here on the show. Kris, before we get back to U of H, number 5 team in this country, had only one loss before last night. Before we get back to them and the Rockets, who was it growing up that really helped you develop a passion for basketball? Which athlete or broadcaster or whoever, got that burning inside of you?
Dr. J first.
Yeah.
Doc, Magic, Isaiah Thomas, of course, Pistons fan.
Yeah.
Personality-wise, do you remember BET's Budweiser Sports Report?
Yes, of course.
Charlie Neal, Brian Burwell, Ralph Wiley. I looked up to all those brothers. The show bounced around a lot, time-wise, days sometimes, but Saturdays, I tuned in. Ed Gordon.
Mm-hmm.
I looked up to all of them. And to see somebody look like me on TV discussing sports intelligently with a passion, I was like, I can do this. They can do it. I can do this too. I want to do that.
If we just take the off the field stuff off, one of the first black, studio people that I ever saw was O.J. Simpson when he was on the Monday Night Crew. Yeah. And then Ahmad Rashad, who, man, I just thought was one of the smoothest dudes in the world. I mean, he was the epitome of everything that I wanted to be. He was well dressed, and man, when I say he handled that room, he wasn't just in there. He handled that room, and then he married Debbie Allen. And,
No.
Felicia. I'm sorry.
Yes. Okay.
I'm sorry. Then he married Felicia. I was like, you better.
Nixon married Debbie Allen.
You better come on here with that. So I remember them well, and I was just like, wow, man, that would be so cool. And then you started seeing more come along after that. So I just wanted to ask you that question. We've been doing this for a long time. I don't think I ever knew that.
Yeah. The BET Budweiser Sports Report. That was my show. Those are my guys. That was must see TV for me.
Yeah. Jane Kennedy.
Well, oh yeah,
Bruh.
yeah.
And I'm like, hey, man, she
CBS.
held her own.
Yep.
She held her
NFL.
own.
Yep.
Yep. I think it was on this day in Black history that I'm drawing a blank on his name. First black baseball player to cross over.
Crossover. What you mean crossover?
For the LA Dodgers to play Major League Baseball.
Jackie Robinson?
Jackie Robinson.
Mm-hmm.
It was on this day in history that he became the first black president of one of the news organizations.
Okay.
Yep. On this day in history, I'll look it up, but I'm positive it's today. So what happened with U of H last night, man? In my sports update earlier on one of our other stations, I said they got off to a slow start and they never caught up. But what really happened last night?
Their defense got lit up. Their defense was a step slow the whole game, and I did not see it coming. Let's say that right off the jump. But looking back at the last few days, you could get a sense that it was coming.
Yeah.
Their offense had started to wane a little bit. Their defense has carried them throughout this season. But they ran into a team in East Carolina who's finally getting healthy, recovering from COVID, led by, I'm going to claim him as Ken because he has the same last name as me, Gardner, Jaden Gardner.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's the best player in the conference. Coach Sampson said so before, I think he said Tuesday in his media session. And Coach Sampson said Tuesday. Got a question from a local colleague. Kelvin, do you look at it as a first place matchup against a last place matchup? And Coach is like, no, I don't prepare that way.
Mm-hmm.
But when I heard the question, I was like, even the media is taking East Carolina for granted.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like I said, I did not think it would happen.
Yeah.
But U of H's defense was bad all game.
Yeah.
ECU was hot from three. Yes, they were.
Mm-hmm.
But many of their shots were open, uncontested shots. That's not U of H's basketball, not U of H's defense. ECU won 50-50 balls, took balls from U of H players last night. Just took balls.
Yeah.
That's not U of H basketball.
Yeah.
Some guys, I think, had one more rebound than me and you. Let me say it slower. One more rebound than me and you. We didn't play, brother.
Right.
Okay, that's a problem. Yeah. That's a big man.
Yeah.
That's the problem. It's just they did not match ECU's effort. And that is not a Kelvin Sampson team.
Yeah.
Just one of those games, and it shows college basketball. It's not a series.
Mm-hmm.
Tournaments one and done.
Right.
All you gotta do is have one off night.
Yep.
And that's it.
Yep.
And maybe U of H, their one off night was last night.
Yeah. What's crazy is me and my big mouth. We were talking about Mayor Turner, and he was raving about the team. I literally said that you could have a Final Four that included U of H, UT, and Baylor. Like, we could be well represented in a Final Four in this season for the state. And I'll be doggone if UT didn't lose. Not by much. If they had hit their free throws, they would have been right there in that one. But then for U of H to lose to East Carolina, I felt like that was going to hurt pretty bad. How far do you think they're going to drop?
And, well, in the polls, AP, you say today, they're going to fall.
Yeah.
In the NCAA net, which is the metric, they fell from 4th to 5th.
Okay.
That's it. Okay. I was surprised. Came out this morning.
Okay.
They fell one spot.
Okay.
I was surprised by that. East Carolina vaulted 36 spots. Wow. They were 169 before yesterday's win. They're now 133. Okay. So it could have been a quad 4 loss, but it became a quad 3 loss because ECU gained so many points in the rankings of the net.
Okay.
And that is one of the key metrics that the committee uses for seeding for the tournament. So I thought UVA was going to take a bigger hit than that, but they got some work to do. Coach Sampson after the game was surprised at the poor effort. He took all the blame for the loss. He didn't get his team ready. He said that. He didn't get his team ready. This is February 3rd last night. They got a whole month to go, get ready for the tournament. They'll be better. They don't have a choice. I mean, put it like this, AJ. They scored 73 points last night. They had 15 out of their 15 wins. 7 of them have come this year scoring less than 73 points.
Yeah.
Their defense was awful last night.
Right.
Gave up the most points they've allowed all year. They won game this year shooting poorly. Badly. Because the defense carried them through. Their defense got lit up last night.
I'm hoping they're able to pull it back. Kris Gardner joining us here on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK Throwback Thursday. Talking a little U of H basketball. Rockets lost last night to Oklahoma City. Like you said, the two teams that were riding win streaks, both of them had them snapped last night. What's your expectation? Memphis has been hot. In fact, there was a moment when Memphis had the longest win streak, and the Rockets were right behind them. Both of them coming off of losses right now. What are we thinking there?
John Moran, John Wall, looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Speed on speed.
Yeah, that's gonna be nice. I love John Morant, bro.
And Vic Oladipo won't play tonight because of some game of back-to-back, so he's not cleared yet to play in both. He hopes that at some point this year he will be allowed to play in both games of back-to-backs.
Okay. Who's gonna fill that spot for Oladipo?
Probably Eric Gordon. Eric Gordon just Mr. Versatile. I mean, he started for John Wall last night, so John Wall can play today. So probably EG.
Yeah, I have been saying over and over again, I just like what I'm seeing out of Eric Gordon right now. Again, no shade at anybody that's gone and no longer here. I just feel like Eric Gordon has a different mentality. He's not being held as a one-dimensional player. He's able to, use his body size and get to the rack. He's able to hit mid-range jumpers, and he's able, to hit some spot-up threes. So I just feel like Gordon is more of who he really is right now than what he was expected to be.
And first, he's healthy, finally, after, 2 years. And this offense suits him better. More diversity in the offense. He can attack, create, shoot threes, mix it up for his teammates as well. So it's a better fit for him.
Yeah. What do you think happened with Christian Wood last night?
Just one of those games, brother. I hope that's what it is. We'll see different teams defend him. He's got to get used to that. He's got used to being the other team's number one option. Right. Our focus is to stop you from beating us. He's got to get used to that because it's never happened before. That's just real.
Right.
So, when he signed here, James and Russ were here. Initially he was going to look at, and then John Wall didn't play last night. Chris Wood may be second or third option. He was number one option last night.
Yeah.
OKC said, "Yeah, you ain't beating us," and he didn't handle it well. We'll see what happens tonight.
Yeah, that's where that maturity comes in. That's exactly where that maturity comes in. Rockets have obviously jumped up the standings, had slid into that number 8 spot way too early. But still, it was good to see them get back in the mix. Get a game above 500 and what have you. Where do you think that is it about to be a roller coaster, or you think they level off from here?
That's what we're going to see. Yeah. The Rockets are not talented enough to just show up and win. They got to play hard. They got to play smart, aggressive. Starts with their defense, and that's how they got to hang their hat. That's how things have changed at 180. We were talking firepower. This team is defense first, starting with PJ, Jayshawn Tate, David Nwaba, Sterling Brown, John Wall, Christian Wood. Defense first. All these guys had chips on their shoulders, and they remind us of that every day.
Yeah.
But they got to play like it, because when they don't, last night happens. It could happen more often.
When you say that about the guys playing with chips on their shoulders, I know Mason Jones is another one that plays like he's got a chip on his shoulder. Let me take a quick break. We'll come right back with Kris Gardner, Houston Roundball Review on the lunch break.
Hi, my name is Lily. My mom and dad used to fight about money all the time. Then one day, I heard them talking about this guy, some uncle I never knew, called Uncle Sam. Well, they say this Uncle Sam guy wanted them to pay him like $1 gazillion, and they didn't have $1 gazillion. So they called this company they heard on the radio called the Tax Doctor. And the Tax Doctor worked with Uncle Sam's people. I think they're called the IRS. And they're able to work it out so my mom and dad didn't have to pay Uncle Sam very much money at all. So now mom and dad are happy, and I'm happy too. Thanks, Tax Doctor.
If you owe $10,000 or more to the IRS or state, call now and pay less. 800-603-9359. 800-603-9359. That's 800-603-9359.
You're listening to 1140 AM and 92.3 FM, the legendary KYOK.
This is Jonathan Joseph with the Houston Texans.
Well, Jonathan Joseph's not with the Houston Texans anymore, but I love having that drop. Black History Month is upon us, and you need to go over to my favorite store for all your African fashions. That's African Imports over in the Greens Point Mall, not far from the food court. They've got Black History Month specials, masks as low as $4.99, dashikis for kids $14.99 and up, for adults $29.99, and lady, those beautiful African dresses $39.99 and up right there at African Imports in the Greens Point Mall. Be sure and stop by. Tell them you heard it on KYOK. You'll get 10% off your purchases. Call Opie, 281-875-0056. That's 281-875-0056. Tell them you heard it on KYOK. All right, Kris Gardner. Somebody just called in. Let's go ahead and take this call. Hello, you're live on the lunch break. Who's this?
Willie Gibson.
Hello?
Willie Gibson.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, that voice, man, that voice. I'm telling you, boy, if we had that voice, Kris Gardner, we could keep them soft and warm in the quiet storm. We could do like James Earl Jones and be the voice of Darth Vader. We could do a lot of things if we had that voice, Kris Gardner.
We could have a podcast called, what's it called? Supposed to call AJ? Will Knows?
Yep.
Listen, come on now.
Ladies and gentlemen, fresh off of the Witness Protection Program, it is none other than Columbus's own Willie Gibson. How you been, man? They feeding you in that program?
A little bit.
Okay.
How's everybody?
Man, we miss you, man. We miss you, brother.
Oh, man, I miss you guys more than you know.
What's up, brother?
Hey, I got a question, though. Totally off the topic. I just popped on, so I heard a little bit, but has macaroni and cheese been shipped?
Not yet. No, sir.
Wait a minute. Hold on, Kris. We have not talked to this dude on air.
Yeah, he gonna blast me like that. That's okay.
Or longer. And he sticks his head, he risks his safety out of witness protection to come on and check on your macaroni and cheese. That's a good brother right there, man. That is your real brother right there.
But I have talked with her, sir.
Oh,
fair enough. Yeah, I'll leave it at that.
Okay.
But let me know why I called Thursday. Let me tell you why I called Thursday. Because I know it was Kris Gardner Day. You know, like back in the day when it used to be rap, Wednesday was Air Lover Dance Day. Thursday was Kris Gardner Day. So I had to make sure I got it in.
Appreciate that, Will. Thank you, man. Much love.
Indeed.
Willie, man, what's going on with you, brother? What's happening up there in Cleveland? What's up with the Cavaliers? What's happening with them?
They got doors blown off last night by the Clippers. You know, Ty Lue came home and they introduced him as the 2016 NBA champion coach, and the 1,900 in attendance, you know, gave him a little standing ovation. But the Cavs they're coming. I mean, they're trying to figure it out as far as trade assets. You know, Andre Drummond, JaVale McGee are in talks with a couple teams, and Kevin Love just started basketball activity, which is indication that he's on the way out as well. And the young core is getting it. Darius Garland is averaging 20 points over the last 5 days. Colin Sexton is doing what Colin Sexton does. So that team is figuring it out. You know, they would love to have Kevin Porter down there with you guys in Houston, but circumstances dictated that he had to move on. And they're doing well. They're doing well.
Yeah. Real quick, let's talk a little college ball. What's happening with that Big Ten, man? I got to tell you, there's some players in that Big Ten, man. When I look at what Michigan is doing,
they're on pause, brother. They're still on pause, right?
Pause, but still, the rest of the conference was like, "Ooh, please stay on pause." The way they were running through the conference, I mean, what's happening Big Ten wise?
Well, I'll tell you, tonight is the game. Number 7, Ohio State at number 8, Iowa. So tonight is the night for the Big Ten. Ohio State's coming off a big win at home against Michigan State. Iowa beat Maryland the other night. So it's going to be a good. Big Ten is hot. Big Ten is hot right now.
Yeah, don't sleep on U of H though. Don't let last
can
night.
Iowa stop the Ohio State? Will?
You know what? Gardner's going to get his. I think 1 through 11, no. I think the team aspect that Chris Holtzman is implementing and these guys are buying into, I don't think, I'm going to call him Fred Dumpy, Fred McCaffrey is going to have an answer for it. I think Gardner gets his, but I think Ohio State pulls it out on the road.
Yeah, I think so too. I think you're right. Yeah.
Yeah, I hope Ohio State does get that win tonight because that'll be significant in that, in those metrics, if you will, the rankings that will determine the seeding at the end.
I think Joe Lunardi, as of this morning, has Ohio State now as the top number 2 seed.
Okay.
U of H is now the 4th. They were the top number 2 and they lost, and now they're the 4th number 2 seed.
Gotcha. So they still on that second second seed level, but they're down at the number 4 spot instead of the number 1.
Right.
Gotcha. Willie Gibson, we got to get this question to you before you go. 1952, Jackie Robinson named Director of Communication for NBC, becomes the first Black executive of major radio TV network. Who was it that inspired you to get into broadcast journalism as you were coming up? And who was the first Black athlete that really became somebody that you were like, man, I love the way, he or she does what they do?
Dr. J was the athlete without question.
Yeah.
His greats, and then as I got older and learned what he did philanthropically and also just like a businessman and in magic as well.
Yeah.
Magic Johnson his acumen is second to none. And as far as who inspired me as far as broadcasting, I always wanted to do this. So I don't know, the person that really inspired me was more so I discovered in college, Stuart Scott.
Yeah.
Stuart Scott was the first person who I saw who looked like me, who talked like me, and who was successful and was unashamedly him.
Yeah.
And as I got older and I had an opportunity to spend some time with Stuart, the things I did with ESPN, and I hear a story of how he was targeted and criticized for being authentic, and it was just more of it was just good for me, and he inspired me to do what I do, and to his field to this day.
Yeah, that's definitely good. It's hard to believe he's gone, man. It really is.
Yeah,
it's really hard to believe he's gone.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Willie, we appreciate you, man. Tell everybody where they can still follow you and find you, man.
Hey, I appreciate it, man. Will Gibson 7, Twitter, Instagram, also Will Knows on Facebook, and Willie Gibson as well.
Appreciate you, man. Thanks for taking time to drop in on us. You got to come on back soon.
I look forward to it. Gentlemen, thank you. Mr. Gardner?
Yes, sir. I will, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you for calling, man. Take care. Stay safe. Stay black.
You as well.
I love it, man. I love that. That was real cool, man. That was real cool. My jaws are hurting smiling at you too, man. Y'all are hilarious. Y'all are hilarious.
Keeping it real, man.
Yeah.
Keeping it real. And like I said, I have spoken to her, so yes.
I like that.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. All right. Give me some more of your Black history. We were talking yesterday with David Grubb, and first Black head coach Rockets was Don Chaney. Spurs was John Lucas.
Probably.
Yeah, it was John. And then Mavericks, I had said it was Avery Johnson, but it wasn't Avery. It was and I lost it because David Grubb corrected me on it yesterday. Here we go. I got it. It was none other than boy. In fact, I got all the black head coaches right here. Jim Clemens.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Avery came after him.
I was going to have another music person, Nat King Cole.
Nah, man.
Nat King Cole was one of the first, might have been the first, to have his own show.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and he was unapologetically black.
Yeah.
And spoke up for us when things were not right.
Mm-hmm.
And a pioneer. And growing up, I knew Nat King Cole as more popular, more famous because of his voice, his singing.
Mm-hmm.
But tying into my love of jazz, Nat was an awesome piano player.
I didn't know that.
Was a fantastic pianist.
Mm-hmm.
So the more I learned about him, I was like, Renaissance man.
Yeah.
A Renaissance black man.
Yeah.
Someone to look up to for not just his singing, his musicianship, and his stand for civil rights. Like, there's so many people that you and I stand on their shoulders.
Yeah.
Because of them opening doors for us, we're able to get our foot in the door.
Right.
And now you and I are opening doors for others.
Yeah.
Because that's part of what we were taught to do.
Right.
And we got to keep it going because it's the right thing to do.
That's absolutely right. Absolutely right.
So, and I'm so thankful to you for giving me this chance to be on with the family on the lunch break, to share my thoughts and my opinions on hoops, on life.
Yeah.
So I'm enjoying it, and I hope to keep doing it for as long as we can keep doing it.
Brother, this is your spot. So I mean it. I throw you that link whenever he jumps on. I'm looking for Kris Gardner today. Just thinking about you, I put together the list of black head coaches in the NBA that won championships. Bill Russell, Boston Celtics, in 1968 and 69, which when you put that in perspective, knowing what we know now about those eras, it's just amazing. It's just absolutely amazing. Then you had Al Attles.
The Warriors.
For the Golden State Warriors in 1975. That's why I get on some of them little Warrior fans now who done jumped on the bandwagon back.
And that was a sweep too.
See, there you go. Lenny Wilkins, Seattle Supersonics back in 1979.
Beat the Bullets.
Casey Jones, Celtics, 84 and 86.
Yep.
And say what you want to say about him.
Yeah.
Doc Rivers, Boston Celtics, 2008. See if you can tell me who the most recent is.
Well, we got Ty Lue. And how many is that? Because is it 6 or 7?
Let me count. Russell, Attles, Wilkins, Casey, Doc, and Lue. 6.
Okay. And is that it? Based on?
Did Mike Brown win one? No, he didn't win one. He didn't win one.
No. So it's 6.
Yep.
We got work to do.
Got work to do.
And that's the NBA.
That's right.
You can talk about it more insight about the NFL.
Yep. College basketball as well.
College basketball, college football.
Oh gosh.
Division I college football. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Today I was going to go over. I've been nerding lately. I have put together a spreadsheet of the greatest black college football coaches and how they rank up against these legendary coaches now. And then I also put a ranking of all the current HBCU black coaches in college football. I'm going to do one for basketball too. I was going to do that today. I'm going to do it tomorrow on Freestyle Friday. But there's a lot of work to do, man. There's a lot of work to do. And what's crazy is you got a lot of legendary black head coaches in basketball and football on the college level that don't get the recognition they deserve. They just don't get it.
And I'm still learning. And that's one thing I love about my friend, colleague, brother, Dr. Kenyatta Cavill, in his show. Some of the history I'm learning about the championship football coaches, HBCUs, who have more titles than Nick Saban. So I'm like, I had no idea.
Yeah, my stats battle yesterday, I take the names off and I just read a category. And who do you pick? Coach A, Coach B. I did Eddie Robinson versus Nick Saban. 9 championships for Robinson, 6 for Saban. Conference championships, wasn't even close. Robinson over Saban. Wins, he got twice as many wins as Nick Saban, but Saban is just given the title of best college football coach ever. And I'm like, slow down. Slow down. If you're not going to do the work of learning about other coaches out there, then, don't throw out the greatest of all time. One of the greats, definitely. Of all time, you haven't done that work.
Well, when that conversation is discussed, it usually just pertains to Caucasian history, Caucasian sports.
Right.
And we're an afterthought.
Yeah.
And that ain't the case.
Yeah. Well, me and my son talk all the time about our history as opposed to their version of our history. Yeah.
Correct. Yeah. And there is a difference.
There is a difference. Kris, unfortunately, we've reached that moment, man. Tell everybody where they can find you and follow you and let us know what you're working on.
Kris Gardner of the Houston Roundball Review, HoustonRoundballReview.com. Houston Roundball Review on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter is the HR Review. As I've been doing it since 1994, going on 27, 28 years now.
That's what's
Houston
up.
Roundball Review, local name, national perspective.
I love that, man. I love that. Keep doing it, brother. We got big anniversaries coming up, man. So let's celebrate. Let's celebrate.
Sir.
Get the word out there. Brother, we'll talk to you again soon. We'll definitely have you on next Thursday. Be looking forward to you. Stay safe. And I love you, man. I mean,
I love you too, man. Thank you very much. I appreciate it as always.
All right. Thanks, Kris.
Take care.
All right, y'all. Kris Gardner, Houston Roundball Review. Good brother. Love and look forward to him joining us on Thursdays. You should too. Willie Gibson, thank you, man. You calling in today made my day. Don't forget now, it is tax season, and Global One Tax Services wants to prepare your taxes. They'll come to your home, or you can get your taxes done online through them. Call Shannon Hinton at 281-377-5565. That's 281-377-5565. Shannon Hinton and Global One Tax Service. They want to get you right on your taxes, and they can and will get that done. All right, got to get ready to go. Donnie McClurkin up next with the Donnie McClurkin Show. He'll give you the best in gospel music, latest in the gospel music industry. Donnie does his thing every Monday through Friday from 2 to 3. In the morning, you got Erica Campbell and Griff Get Up Mornings, 6 a.m. to 9. Your boy will be back with Freestyle Friday, and we'll get into that breakdown of HBCU legendary football coaches, and I'll give you a ranking of the current football coaches. A lot of them are in their jobs for the first time at those schools and hadn't even gotten a chance to play because of HBCU choosing health over money. So we'll give you a review of them. We'll do that tomorrow right here on the lunch break. Garrick Jones will be joining me tomorrow as well. So looking forward to a great show. As always, let's not be divided. Let's be united. I love you. There is nothing you can do about it. Wash your hands, wear your mask, and give people their 6 feet. When you see that racism, kill it. Not the person, the racism. Love y'all. Talk to you tomorrow.
The legendary 1140 AM KYOK Conroe and 92.3 FM K222CX Houston. Are you ready?
All right, man. man. I hope y'all enjoyed the show. Really appreciate you, Kris Gardner, Willie Gibson, all you all's calls. Keith Hennick, thank you. Ferdinand, thank you. First-time callers, thank you. Cowboy Craig, love that the calls today, man. Really enjoyed reminiscing with y'all. But again, y'all, let's not do this. Let's find a way to do this. And I love y'all, man. That's Wakanda for life. I love y'all for free. So y'all take care. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Please be safe out there today. All right?